Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle, and we're having coffee in my beautiful Sun Glory mug. Celestial. That was the impetus behind that, and the fact that it was right at the front of the cupboard. So, how is everyone after this incredibly intense full moon? So many people have been reaching out, talking about the sleeplessness, the pain, the emotional upheaval, the reactivity, all these emotions coming up inside of us. And they're coming up for us. They're coming up to be looked at, to be examined for what it is we can learn from them and to be released. So if you've been in a place of angst, anger, sadness, depression, physical pain, sleeplessness, there is reason. And open, willing, ready, show me, guide me, what is here for me. That's you standing in your divine power of creation and allowing the universe to come in and help you along your way. So welcome to the next few months, which are going to be pretty intense in the energies. On April 8th, we have a full solar eclipse, which produces a lot of other types of upheaval energy, a lot of geomagnetic disturbances right now, causing a lot of Mother Earth physical disturbances getting ready and fulminating within her. So standing in your place of ownership of creation, allow what's coming up to be examined by you in that state of curiosity rather than blaming yourself, beating up on yourself, running from it. Lots of fear coming up now because truly it's being held in ourselves for lots of reasons and in the collective. But when you choose to look at everything for an opportunity to grow, things are less scary. Things can be less fearful, but you need to be aware of the fact that for many people, it's coming up, but it's not in the forefront of their mind. It is causing reactivity. So be the creator that you are and open up yourself to what is here for me. So let's see what the mystical shaman and the flower oracle have for us today in this energy, which is waning now of this full moon. But when you have eclipses too, they hold on longer. So we just want to be available for the truth of what's coming through. So the flower of life cards, the first one is beautiful. I love this. Of course, I love trees and branches, and this is, pretty much what it looks like outside for us right now. Things are starting to bud, but we don't have lots of green leaves yet. Lots of green grass, yes. And the card that came up, the message is flow. And that's been coming through for me a lot. And for some of the things that I'm being prompted to flow with, it truly, I have to go, I don't even know what that looks like. How do I flow with this big thing in front of me? For me, what's really come up on this full moon has been physical pain in a huge way, bigger than it has been in past. So always, I mean, that's like one of those very much in your face things you want to look at. Other things that come up for us are subtler. And so open, willing, ready, we will be given that tap on the shoulder. So the energy of flow is the first guidance we're receiving. To be open means to flow, not to hold yourself rigid in fear and resistance. And like I said, fear is another one that's been really coming up. And resistance. I truly feel like the physical pain is just avenues of resistance and stuck energy. I know that. What that looks like in the process, what I'm to learn from it, is still unfolding for me. And so always be in that seeking mind, the willingness to learn and stay curious. The curiosity is the one that really will move us forward to that next place of awareness. You do not have to achieve, your true nature is openness. You do not have to achieve it, for you are already open. It is the mind that is closed, locked into certain belief systems that arise from your conditioned experience. The open heart is open to all experiences, for the wisdom of your heart knows that at the center of all experience is love. If you are searching for serenity, security, prosperity, and to be loved, know it already exists. All you have to do is feel and see it. As you do, the old illusions fueled by outdated beliefs and thought patterns will dissolve and your energy will transcend, moving you towards more of who you are. Feel the flow. And so when we move out from the fear, and if we can pull it away from us to examine it as the observer in life, and that's really the state we want to get in, is as an observer. So it's like pulling yourself out of the situation. And I've given this analogy or this experience that I've had before as particularly a younger mother and a nurse. When something would happen to my children or my husband that would cause me some upheaval inside, some fear, some like, oh my gosh, I would literally have to say, if I wasn't the mother here, what would the nurse be looking at? What would she be doing? And it was like I would step aside and look at it from the observer position. Open, willing, ready, ask for the how to on that, because getting into the observer takes you out of all the chaos, the emotion, the involvement in the resistance, the anger, the discord. And you can see more of what the whole situation is, and staying open, willing, ready, and being guided makes that a lot easier. So we want to stay in flow and be willing to learn from every single thing that comes forward for us. Good morning, Hasham. And so allow the resistance, the discord, this, a lot of people are butting heads right now, and the fear energy is huge throughout the world. There's so much governmental discord throughout the countries, and relational family upsets. So you want that I'm open, I'm willing, I'm ready, guide me energy, that prayer, that desire to be front and center, so that you are continually given the growth that is available, the growth opportunities. You're being led into them, and you're being able to see them. The the what is it? The Mystic Shaman card that came up was Luminous. Look at this. I love these cards. Of course, I love all the cards and the artwork. Luminous Warrior. Look at the light right there in the top of his head, that centering light. And in the Dantian, look at the moon down there. That is the energy center right behind, just below the navel. The Luminous Warrior has no enemies in this world or the next. They are impeccable in word and deed. They focus on light rather than what hides in the dark. Since they cast no shadow, they are as radiant as the sun and can transform their most terrible enemy into their ally. Their power comes not from the sword, but from speaking their truth at all costs. And the Luminous Warrior came up in reverse. And so with the Mystic Shaman, we read the medicine. Are you being tempted by your emotions to follow your lower instincts? Are you being invited to enter into a quarrel with someone? Put your sword away. This is not the time for battle. Your enemy is not who you think it is. Our enemy is rarely that neighbor, that person, that business partner right in front of us. It tends to be in the bigger picture, the enemy of the collective. And so us fighting and battling against one another on a one-to-one basis is really futile and destructive in the overall birthing of this new earth that we are bringing in with the light that we get to shine. So that flow allows the light to shine brighter. Resistance will cut it off. It's like it cuts the wick off that candle. So stay in flow. Find the truth hiding in your heart, and that will affirm your instinct for peace rather than for war. So the energy of flow is where we want to stay. Stepping outside of yourself to be that observer of your life makes it much easier not to jump into the fray of all the chaotic energy that is in the collective and prompting people to be at one another. We are not one another's enemies. It is those powers that were throughout the world. And again, I no longer call them the powers that be, because they are breaking down, and it is getting louder and louder, this cacophony of discordant energies, because the darkness is screaming and clawing to hold on. As each one of us begins our own inner work and allows our internal light to shine brighter, we move this evil, controlling, toxic energy to the periphery, where it will begin to fall off and dissolve. So you doing your work is the key. The next card that came up was animals. You don't see, look at this beautiful flower. I love that. The energy of animals reflects our instinctual nature, our gut, our instinct is where we want to focus now. Our instincts are what we generally describe as a gut feeling, intuition, or psychic ability. Playing or working with or just observing animals, either directly or symbolically, brings us in touch with our own animal nature, an aspect of ourselves often repressed. Basically, this is saying we want to grow that animal instinct. We want to pay greater attention to our gut, to that gut feeling, to that inner knowing, because that is our connection with the divine being brought through into our physical person. So I'm open, I'm willing, I'm ready, guide me is that constant invitation to allow our gut to be on high and to allow us to begin to trust that more and more. I've had an amazing experience with a young man here in town who is the Christian education release time teacher at the high school. And he reached out to me for a conversation about New Age spirituality because, he's very Christian. And I've been there, done that, and walked away because it was my time to walk away. And we've been talking about the moral authority and how, if you don't have a moral authority, how do you trust what you get? And that really is the key, is trusting your instinct. But in order to do that, you've got to grow that muscle, the intuitive muscle. It is like a muscle. The more we work with it, the stronger it gets. Now, that connection to the higher power, God, creator, the universe, whatever you call it, is key, because that is that moral compass. And really, that's what I told him. And I truly understand. I mean, his moral compass is the Bible. And we talked about the different religious texts and how the followers in that religion feel that that is the text in the world, the one, and how how many times men have distorted those texts for their own good. And so his thing is, if you don't have a moral compass, how can you know for sure? And then we talked about one of the religions around here who's, two men got together, and because of a text in the Bible, they went and killed this sister-in-law. And so we talked about the fact that even though the Bible was their moral compass, they interpreted it wrong because they were so estranged from an actual relationship with their higher power that they were manipulated into believing something very false, something destructive. There's another aspect, and I told him, I said, there's a much longer conversation. We could have talked for hours. The other aspect is that we have certain things we wanted to learn, and the players in this lifetime agreed before we came in to help us learn, and we agreed to help them learn something. But that's a whole other conversation, because that is how, it becomes acceptable in the truest sense of the word. I can accept some of the things that go on with greater ease and grace because of the learning there and the understanding that as the creator, I brought something into my field for me to learn from. And when I own that act of creation, then I can begin to be an active participant in the learning and to release the things that are causing me the consternation, because I will have learned what they came into my existence for. The last card that came up is the Andean cross. And this very much has to do with the earth elements, the four directions, and then the center way. to move through them and with them. The Andean cross represents the cosmology of the shaman. It depicts the four cardinal correct directions, the upper and lower worlds, and the steps to reach these realms. The hole in the center is the gateway to interdimensional travel, the proverbial eye of the needle we can all go through to experience higher states of awareness and wisdom and to break free of linear time. The Andean cross announces the start to a great journey. It's time to raise your gaze from the mundane day to day to that which, until now, has seemed beyond your grasp. Allow new wisdom to guide you and stop trying to make sense of it all before you respond with a resounding yes. That is why that constant connection of open, willing, ready is so important, so powerful, and so vital. We are being called up now. We are being nudged. It is time to step into our truth, our spiritual power, our wisdom that can be gained from that continuous connection, and the willingness to look at the shadows, which has really come up this full moon, and know what it is they were there for, and now the time to be able to release them, to transmute that energy, bringing through your wizard self, your alchemist, to transmute these experiences into learning opportunities, then to be able to release the energies contained in them. And so it really is that time to go beyond healing, which is what I titled that retreat that I'm holding in May. Beyond Healing is going to bring you into the truth of who you really are, what your powers are, how you can manage them in your life moving forward. It is a true empowering experience. And that's why it is 7 days, which for many is a block, unless you really choose to move through that block, because 7 days is a very short period of time to gain all of what we are bringing through for you, what Maggie from Ireland is bringing in, what I have to offer, what will be experienced in this group energy, which are so incredibly powerful. So the truth is, if you are ready to awaken to the truth of your power, this Beyond Healing retreat, I have just 3 spots left. So don't delay. It is May 15th through the 22nd, and it will be the launch for you into that next amazing aspect of this journey in this lifetime for you. So we are complete this morning on this beautiful post full moon day. Springtime, the new beginnings. Are you ready? Are you feeling that pull to move forward into the new you? Be open, willing, ready to be guided, and the whole process gets a lot easier. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage, on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again.